The new Ultra is Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and you want to know whether you should summon or skip his banner. In this video, I'll give you everything you need to know, things you should consider before summoning, the kit details, so everything he can do, and then I will also recommend whether I think you should summon and tell you whether I'm going to be summoning, because I know a lot of you guys like to follow what I'm doing. Nothing else needs to be said. Let's get straight into this. Okay, so some very important details before you do anything regarding summoning. The first thing you should consider is your chrono crystals, is what I usually say. In this case, this is the part 3, so it's the finale. There will be a Legends Limited that drops after this, but outside of that, there will be just some New Year's banners, so you don't really need to consider your chrono crystals too heavily. If you like this character, go for them. If you don't, you can go back on the part 2 banners and the part 1 banners, and then you can get what you like, assuming you're lucky of course, but hopefully you do get what you want. Ultimately though, if you're a collector, everything I have to say is irrelevant in this video, as you will just summon regardless. But one thing that's very important is you shouldn't summon straight away. There's a lot of things to choose from right now, and just because this Ultra looks the most shiny and they're the highest rarity doesn't automatically mean they're going to be the best in the game, as we saw last year with Ultra Beast Gohan being on about the same level as Ultra Margin Vegeta. So what I would recommend is looking at the banner release date and end date. So in this case, he releases on Christmas Eve, which is the 24th, and the banner is going to end on the 15th of 2026 January. I will also recommend watching showcases. Don't just watch the typical showcases that you watch, so the content creators that you usually watch. I would go out my way to watch content creators that you've never seen before. Why? Because the showcases you usually watch will typically have an account that's most likely better than yours if they are a big content creator, and that includes myself as well. If you get a variety of showcases, so I'm not saying not to watch the big content creators, just don't only watch those guys. Go watch multiple showcases, because different accounts have different stars, different equipment, different builds, etc., and you want to get the best opinion on that unit before you go in yourself. Only naturally, if somebody has a better account, the unit will look better. So what if someone has an account that's closer to yours? They might automatically look trash, and it might have just been inflated on another account. Do you hear what I'm saying? And ultimately, you might want to hesitate based on the fact that showcases do not dictate the unit's value. Again, the unit might look good in a video, but in 2 to 3 days, people might stop using that unit. Although in this case, I think that's very unlikely. It's still very possible that the unit is not the #1 meta force, and people start using other units that already exist, which might make you feel like if you summon straight away, this unit isn't as good as it was built up to be. But really, you would just trigger happy on summoning. I will also then say, consider the near future. That's also something I would usually say, but we're at the end of the year here. Again, the only thing you should really be considering is New Year's and maybe the after party Legends Limited. But is it going to be more hype than these things that we've already got in part 1, 2, and 3? Unlikely, but it's not impossible, so I'm just telling you not to be trigger happy. And finally, my judgment isn't final. I make this should you summon video prior to the unit coming out, so I don't have the in-game stats of how the unit will perform, which means I'm basing it off kit and my judgment of years of playing Dragon Ball Legends, as I've played the whole 7 years. So I have good pattern recognition when it comes to what the units can do in the game. However, there are cases where I give an opinion and what actually happens in game is vastly different based on the stats being something we didn't expect. They could be a lot worse or a lot better. We just wouldn't know until it releases. So this is a general judgment of what the unit can do based on my experience, 7 years of playing the game. Let's get into the kit breakdown now. Okay, so we've got the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku abilities. I hate how they write it like that. They could have just wrote Super Saiyan 4 Goku Full Power or Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but Super Full Power Saiyan 4. What the hell are they doing, man? But anyways, let's go into the kit and break down what he can do. So the tags as per, Element Green first, Sun Family, Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4 GT. It doesn't say it here, but he's a range type, just bear that in mind. Saga, Super Baby, Saga GT. Here's the Z ability, so you're going to be able to get up to 42% blast attack and 42% base blast defense. Here's where most people would probably be, or maybe down here, so 30% and 38%. GT, Sun Family, and that's pretty much the only tags. You get additional 5% though, and 3% depending on if you're at the Z ability 3 or Z ability 4. He's an Ultra, so he has Ultra ability, and the Ultra ability is restricted to GT. Otherwise, you're going to need multiple GT members to build up that 5% if you're not putting him on the leader slot. You know, you gotta bear that in mind. Going into the strike cards, it has blast armor, and you heal every time you press one, 4%. That's actually a good help. We got the blast darts, it builds up damage every time you press one, 15%. We've got the blue card here, you get 50% special move damage, right? But what's really good is if you land it, you get vanish engage 70% and ally sub counts -2, so you can actually switch out faster in case you still can't switch out in time. We have the green card here, right? It's an explosive green, you get HP from pressing it, you get key from pressing it, but if you do land it, you get a card if you have 3 or fewer, unique gauge 20%, and you nullify special cover changes, and you protect your hand for 5 time accounts. This also shows that it can be a green card. I know this could have been a beam, but it's a green card, which is something that you should know. Also, in regards to his gauge, which we'll get into later, he has a release type and a sustain same gauge type, so it's going to switch between the two, which I'll explain later, like I just said. Going into the ultimate arts, it has supreme impact damage, so it's going to do a lot of damage. On activation, you get 30% special ultimate damage, you get 30% critical, and you nullify endurance. These can be cancelled, unfortunately. On hit, you will take the enemy's ki, all of it, 100 of their ki. It's the forward moving type, and it has blast armor, so bear that in mind. Going into the main ability, you destroy one card and then you draw your ultimate art. You have 30% HP from it, which is nice. 50 ki gain, unique gauge to 100%, cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions, and remove card slot steal. Now this is actually going to be quite useful depending on who you're fighting, but I do really like this. Cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions. It can help you kind of reset your combo. Now the start ability here, damage free 10, which is the same amount as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan before anything else. Damage gauge 240, which is more than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, giving you a reference point. Key recovery, 100% key for the key recovery, and then draw speed. Now what's very important is if you want to actually get the most out of him, you have to run with a GT member. Extra damage guard, and endurance. You get 50% health back from the endurance being popped if you are running at least one GT member. You don't need a full team, you just need one, in addition to Goku himself. Most people would definitely be running UV4 though. Going into the unique ability, on battlefield entry, he's going to get one card if he has 3 or fewer. He's going to get HP every single entry, 15%. That's actually a lot. He's going to get plus 40 to his ki, nullify special cover changes with 5 time accounts, and he's going to be type neutral against any damage he takes, not dishes out, but only with the damage he takes. Based on strike and blast arts uses, so this is offensively, uses reset on switch or special move arts use, so that's the blue card. First and onwards, he's going to get damage guard penetration plus 20%, and this is for 10 time accounts, so pretty much your whole combo. And then the third card onwards, he's going to draw a blue card, which is every time, which is pretty cool. And then ki plus 50 and special move damage in addition, so your combo is meant to always end with a blue card. They're kind of setting you up for it. Here, when on battlefield, based on times hit by the enemy strike blast arts, so this is defensively, counts reset on switch. First and onwards, he's going to increase the enemy strike and blast arts cost by 5, plus 5 for every single strike and blast they do. And this is for 10 time accounts. Now, I think a lot of you guys might underestimate how grave this is. 10 time accounts of an increase of just plus 5 is a major inconvenience, but you're going to probably press 2 or 3 cards before you can't even press anymore because you don't have ki, and your key cost is going to be plus 15. That's outrageous. But just to take it a step further, once you get to that third card, your combo is getting completely cut off unless you have a blue card. He's going to steal strikes, he's going to steal blast, and he's going to steal green cards. All of those dead your combo. That's tough. Going further, when on battlefield an enemy activates a special move, ultimate, awakened arts, or rising rush, you're going to get 15% HP, and this can activate 3 times. And also here, you're going to need a GT member again. Like I said before, it's very important you have a GT member. You will reduce ally sub counts by 5, and you're going to cancel enemy buffs. So the cancel buff effect is an effect that he has if he has a GT member. So you only get endurance and buff cancellation in both of those if you have at least one extra GT member. When on standby, an enemy rising rush rager is lost. So if the enemy beats you on a rising rush when they're rising rushing you, he's going to activate rising rush disrupt and enter the battlefield. So it's like the reverse of fusing Super Vegito. But if you guys also do know, TN has this mechanic, but it's just better. It's just more consistent. There's no restrictions. You can just run it. Now here, when enemy cover changes against strike / blast arts, and this can only happen one time, activate anti-cover change attack. Deal major damage to outgoing enemy. Also deal 100% of the damage to incoming enemy. Nullify element disadvantages. So let me paint you a picture. Let's say you're doing a combo against the enemy and they want to cover change out from who they're using. Well, they can do that, but whoever's coming in next, 1, you're going to be completely type neutral if you're already not type advantage, and 2, you're going to do an extra 100% to that incoming enemy. So whatever card they try to cover change on, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them a lot. Specifically, Gohan's going to fall victim to this, I feel, and then any other unit as well, but it won't hurt them as much. This can be comboed into as well. So as you do that extension when they try to save themselves, the combo cover change does work, but now you're fighting somebody else with type neutral for 3 more time accounts, which is actually pretty decent. So if you do a blue card next, you'll probably continue, just take out the person whoever's coming in, which is crazy. We got the special cover change, which is a strike arts. We've got the unique gauge, which I spoke of. So it starts as a release type. So it's going to start at 100% and it's going to be gradually draining to 0. And once it gets to 0, it becomes sustained damage type, which means that the more damage you take, the more arts cards you get hit with, the more that gauge will fill up. And once it gets back to sustained damage type, it will start emptying again because it's the release type. Now with the release type, you get these buffs: 50% damage, damage guard, critical, and nullified normal conditions. But when it's the sustained damage type, you will draw a special arts, which is the green card, get HP from it, and cancel attribute downgrades. And that's pretty much it in regards to his gauge. You really want to keep it in release type so you can do the offensive work. But when you are in sustained damage type, you're going to be getting defensive benefits so that you can get back to release type. Do you get what I'm saying? Plus, in addition to how he has the disrupt in his kit, you won't have to worry too much about getting comboed heavily and just dying. His kit is pretty solid and very respectable. It's very good. Do not sleep on it, and I'll explain whether you should summon right now in this next segment. Now, do I think it's worth it for you guys to summon on Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku? And my ultimate answer is yes. But depending on your playstyle, you might not like him that much. He's not the type to do long combos or be very flashy on the offensive end, but he does have some things that will do a lot of damage, and I'm sure he will output a lot of damage in general. But he's really built more defensively based on his kit. It's really disrupt, the fact that his gauge is heavily lined up with the sustained damage type, so he's meant to take hits to a degree and he can break the enemy's combo. He has endurance that's heavily restricted with GT, and the GT team itself is built on survivability. Super Baby 2 has the gauge which breaks combos. We got UV4 as well, who has endurance and buff cancellation. The team is trying to be kept alive, and I think that's very much what they added to Super Saiyan 4 Goku's kit to make the team synergize in that way. It's not that he can't do offensive damage, but the playstyle for this unit is to keep the team alive and then gradually break down your opponent because you know you're stronger than him. So it's not that he's not the best in the game, or he's not even the second best in the game. I think he's most likely going to be the best in the game. It's really just a playstyle thing that I want to mention. So it's not that I'm saying don't summon. I already said I think he's worth summoning. You should probably summon for him, because if you don't get him, you might feel like you're missing out. Still recommend you watch showcases first, of course, but ultimately you just might not like the way he plays, and that's something I want to mention, because if you're not optimizing his defenses, I think you will miss out to a degree. Depending on how you form your team, of course, there's a lot of big meta units right now, so I can't even say defenses are for sure necessary. I just feel like they're trying to make a statement to make it that he is the unit that will absorb hits, survive on the battlefield, disrupt the enemy combo, and then add some effects for like counter attacks, so when you're back on offensive, they can't exactly switch out and take domination on the battlefield. I think that's the type of kit he is, type of unit he is. He's meant for counter attack and not just straight up brawling and destroying the enemy, though he can do that as well. But overall, I do think he's worth summoning for. I think he'll be probably top 2, top 3 in the game without a doubt. So yeah, that's my opinion on Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, the big question a lot of you guys always want to know is ZAKASHI summoning. Yes, I am going to be summoning. I've been pushing agenda for Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku for a long time. This is special, Vegeta. I can feel it. And now we're here. You know, we're not getting no Ultra... You know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's here, so of course I'm gonna summon. I got 15,000 Chrono Crystals. I'm gonna try my luck. Hopefully I get him in the 15,000 Chrono Crystals. Otherwise, we might have to pull out the secret events. Hopefully not though. But yeah, ZAKASHI is summoning. That's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks beautiful. Everything about him is good. The animation's amazing. The model amazing. The aura amazing. The ink amazing. The kit is amazing. The reveal was amazing. The music was amazing. The performance was amazing. All around good vibes. If you're feeling down right now because it wasn't who you wanted, high key, suck it up, man. This guy's fire. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is ZAKASHI, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.